So I've been working on my kayak again. I've had this Old Town Vapor 10 angler for about 8 years now, maybe. And I've made some mods to it already, and you can see the PVC sticking out of the fishing rod holder there. I'm waiting on that to cool so I can keep working on the bazooka tubes for the back of it. I'll give you a look at those in a minute. But I added some stickers just because they look cool. The shark face is reflective too, so if I'm on any water in low light conditions and other people have lights, it shines off them and gives a good reflection. I have a flag sticker on the back too that kind of does the same thing. First thing I did though, well, it's not really a full mod, but this is just a Yakima kayak strap. I just kind of leave it on there. I use it to drag the boat around a lot to make it load into my truck quick. The reflective belt there is just so I have my orange strap when it's hanging out of the back of my truck, and I've got plenty of rope. I added a couple Scotty mounts. I had one on that side and one over here so I could do some trolling while paddling. I've taken this out in some salt water before, out in Redondo Beach in California. I've since moved, so I'm obviously not there anymore. But I would try to troll using those. They're both leashed up. Right now on the side you can see the transducer mount coming off of a Scotty transducer mount. In the middle, I added some foam deck pad where the paddle holders go, and where I sit, because this is where I predominantly rest the paddle when I'm paddling. So I added that in there just to help reduce some of the sounds. Just added this. This is a cutting board, but it serves kind of an additional working dash and a sit-in kayak. And it also gave me a place to mount the Garmin Striker 4 with down imaging, some map plotting. So I wanted certain features, and this was the cheapest unit that I could get that had the features that I wanted. You'll see there's a cup holder up there. The mount itself was just a little too big to fit there, and with building this dash in anyway, this worked out nicely. I do have a California Fish and Game or Fish and Wildlife ruler just taped down on the bottom of the boat. I also have a bump board that I can use when I need it. The boat's a little filthy, but I have a sponge down there. That's my manual bilge if needed, and I also have a bucket in the back. Got some fish grips stemmed in the side over there. And then on this side, I've got a club for when I catch flounder or something, or halibut on the west coast. This is my battery box for the fish finder. I'm still working on it. It's got a voltage meter on the top, 4 switches. I've added some LEDs. I got to keep putting more LEDs in so it'll surround and I can use it as a flashlight. But ultimately it'll tuck up under there between 2 fishing rod holders where all the additional deck matting is, just to try and keep it from bouncing around. And I've got a ton of random rope and rod leash in here. That's where I need to finish wiring up the fish finder. I also have on my seat, since it's not the most comfortable, hard plastic from the factory. I got a yak pad. It's gel. It's pretty comfortable. Helps with being able to fish for longer periods of time. I added a couple extra eyelets in the back so that I could add some additional leashes. And you can see some bungee across the back area here, which is pretty much useless on this kayak because it's such a weird shape you can't even fit a milk crate in it. And kind of a top shot, those are the bazooka tubes that I'll be cutting and gluing and fitting into these 2 fishing rod holders so that I have more rod holders without having to lay them inside the boat with me, because in a sit-in kayak, space is at a premium. There's that other reflective sticker I was telling you about. Now, on these old towns, for some reason, they put the drain plug here on the side by this fish finder, or fishing rod holder, and that's a pretty useless location. It's so hard to get the boat tipped to the right angle to get all that water out. So up at the front of my boat, I added another one, marine gooped the crap out of it. It's kind of messy. And I also added the Yak Gear anchor trolley system all the way down the boat so that I could anchor out with current. As I'm looking, I think that might be everything I had, but those are the mods I've done so far.